listening to Feel Good Files with Lexi and Son.
Hello, Son.
Hey, Lexi.
How are you doing?
We're doing really well, aren't we?
Yeah, I think
file
we
7.
are. We are, yeah.
Happy Women's Day.
Yes, happy Women's Day.
Yes,
Cheers
to that.
Yes,
Fantastic.
look at us looking so beautiful in our pink.
Yes, if you're not watching us, you'll have to go to YouTube.
Yes. Go to our YouTube channel and have a
Yeah.
look at us. How are we
Yes.
dressed today?
Absolutely, all in pink.
Sonia looking dashing in her heart headband. Ooh,
Yep.
beautiful.
Getting used to having long hair.
And wearing pink.
And wearing pink. It's not a colour I wear naturally.
You do on your lips, though.
Yes, often.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So today we'll be chatting all things woman.
Yes. I mean, I thought when we actually decided to talk about Women's Day and what it meant, what does it mean for us? What
Yeah.
does it mean for you?
Well, for me, woman, not just Women's Day, I think it's quite an empowering word. You know, what makes us women? You know, who are we? You know, how do we get seen by the public or by our friends, by people around us, and how as women do we make a difference? You know, I think there's a lot that we also as women take for granted. If we go all the way back into the past, you know, women weren't seen. Women were to be at home, cleaning the house, making babies, looking after the babies, and making sure lunch or breakfast, lunch, and dinner were cooked for their partner. And that's how women were seen. And nowadays, there's a lot more that us women are able to do. And we are
Without even thinking about it.
exactly, we are as much equal to men as men are to us, if that even makes sense.
But is that even a thing?
No,
Like
but
we are aspiring to who wants to be equal to men.
no, but I think it was all. I know, I hear you, but I think in the past we never were seen like that, and we could never do certain jobs or certain things because we were women.
Yes.
And I think now woman is not a weak word anymore. It's a strong word. To be a woman is a lot stronger than it was years ago.
We've got a voice.
We do.
Do we use our voice?
I don't think women do use it enough. And I think some women use it and abuse it. And use it,
To whine. What?
Yes. Yeah. To
Yes.
whine, to be, you know, or victimize themselves. And I think we definitely, as women, take it for granted and we don't embrace being a woman enough and what we have achieved and what we do. I mean, we bring life into this world. We are able to carry on working, be working moms, be stay-at-home moms, still make sure houses are clean, dinner's on the table while we are working
So
mom.
we nurture and nature.
Exactly. And I think it's
things.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful that we get to do that all.
And yet in 2025, we're still under siege.
Oh, definitely.
That's something that's really, I want to really think about all the women who on a daily basis fight for their lives, really.
Yeah.
That's something that I haven't been able to understand, that the real pandemic in this world is that women and children are under siege. And I'm at a loss of words, really, as to understand why women are brutalized as they are.
I do think it's because women have become a lot more empowered and there are certain...
So they don't keep as quiet.
Yes, and men are not liking that. They're not liking that.
So
listen, I'm not a feminist, but
what does that even mean?
Exactly. But
I
mean,
so if you have an opinion, are you a feminist?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't think we actually talk enough about women that are under siege, like you said, and being attacked, and women and
But
children.
people they know.
Exactly. And I don't think there's enough awareness on that. I mean, it's happening all around the world. We don't see it as often, but
Well, personally,
personally.
but we live in one of the
Yeah.
worst countries in the
Yeah.
world.
Where it's happening.
Bottom line for me is we're raising children,
Yeah.
female and male, and we've got to actually tackle those issues in the home.
Yeah.
You know,
How to treat women.
how to treat women, how to treat men, how to treat each other as human
How
beings.
women treat women.
Oh, wow.
How true is that? How women treat women.
Yeah. Do we celebrate each other enough? No.
Definitely not.
Yeah. That is something that is very
There's like
challenging.
a bit of a war between women sometimes too. You know?
I think, sometimes when this whole comparison story comes up, which, comparison is the thief of joy. So if you're sitting there and comparing yourself constantly to somebody else, you are draining yourself of every beautiful, joyful emotion, which then means that you can't express your joy for somebody else for doing something
No.
that you admire.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if that sense of comes out, it's because you're actually admiring somebody.
Yes.
So why don't you just admire them?
Exactly. And like going back to our file 2, I think it was, be a cheerleader for other women. Be their
Yes.
biggest cheerleader.
Yes.
Rather than
For
being
the
jealous of them, or
Yes.
wanting to compete with them.
or envious.
Yes.
Envy is something that is that saying, green with envy.
Yeah.
It makes you sick to
Yeah.
be envious.
And I think if you uplift other women, your friends, people around you, they will in return do the same to you. It's about uplifting each other, being there for each other.
Yes. Well, on Women's Day, I always think about in the 50s, there was that march this was obviously an apartheid thing.
Yes.
But it was a women's march. And the main theme was, if you strike a woman, you strike a rock. And in the end, I think that is about resilience and about care for each other. And I think we need to go back to that kind of way of thinking, that, we are there for one another and we're each other's supporters.
Exactly. For quite a few years, I did the Total Sports Women's Run on Women's Day. I used to do it with my sister and my mom, but after having children, we just did it every now and then. And it was so lovely. You get to the start of that race and there's just women everywhere and uplifting music, and everyone's there for the same reason, to go run this race. And it's so lovely, starting off Women's Day, doing something like that. It is, honestly, you feel quite empowered, if that even makes sense.
It's a celebration.
It is.
With people who share the same gender as you.
Exactly. It's a very, you do feel celebrated, which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to celebrate us women. And I think on Women's Day, we need to reflect on who we are. Are we happy to be women? Are we uplifting other women? Are we grateful? Are we happy with how we are as a woman?
Are we raising women?
Yeah. Are we raising our sons to treat women in the right way?
Yeah.
Are we raising our daughters to treat men in the right way too?
Yes. And challenge all those notions for yourselves.
Yes.
I mean, I have my own particular opinion about all of that. I was raised not really being told ever anything about my specific gender, So, and it's throughout my life, it's been a huge surprise to go or to hear somebody say, oh, stop being such a girl. And I remember the first time I ever heard that, I was like, oh, what's wrong with being a girl?
Yes.
Because I was never brought into that, so challenge yourself. How are you speaking about being as a woman? If you're not a woman, how do you treat women? How do you talk about women? Or, do you buy into all those stupid woman jokes? The blondes and this, all of that stuff. It's about challenging your own notions, your own foundations, and celebrating what makes women unique. For me, one of the most amazing scenes out of Anne with an E, I'm a huge fan of Anne with an E, where they were celebrating Beltane, which is I think it's summer solstice or whatever it is. We don't really do that much here, but and the girls all built a bonfire, and they were all together. And one of the characters goes, "I love being a woman." And I remember watching that scene and thinking to myself, do I love being a woman? And it's something that I thought about for a long time, and I do love being female. I do love the things that we get to do, and even getting to give birth was something that was an incredible experience, and one that I had taken completely for granted.
100%.
Had 2 miscarriages before my son, so seriously didn't understand any of that until I went through it, that it wasn't something that was just going to happen, because I felt it was a decision that I wanted to make with my husband. When you're then not able to, then you realize what a gift it is.
Yeah, it is a true gift.
Yes. But there's so many aspects of it.
Yeah.
And for your own self to actually intentionally think what it is that you love about being a woman.
I also think we are very lucky as women nowadays compared to years ago. So I think we need to embrace being women, because I think we've been given a lot more freedom now. Like we said earlier, we've got a voice. I mean, years ago, you're told what to do, you had to do it. And there are still many countries in this world today where women have to follow what their husband, what the rules are. And where we live in South Africa, we are actually as women very, very lucky. And I do think we take it for granted. We do.
Oh, we do have a voice, although in some communities, even here, not allowed to say no still. That's where that whole dichotomy of somebody going, I'm not doing that, or I don't want to be treated like that. Suddenly, you're faced
sad,
with losing your life for saying no.
Yes.
But I do love the fact that, and it's through Instagram, it is something that we are being made more aware of, all the women through history who were faceless and did actually, do so much and weren't given credit for it.
Yeah.
Through history, all those quotes that often are seen as anonymous actually more than likely were from women.
Yeah.
Even people like Jane Austen, authors like Jane Austen, her first novels she was not allowed to say her name. She had to have a pseudonym. But
don't you think it's so amazing that even though she carried on doing her passion,
oh my God,
regardless of having to be seen as anonymous, so she was like, I don't care if I'm seen as anonymous. This is my passion. This is my love.
Probably did care, but
She did
couldn't-
care, but she was like, you know what?
didn't give up.
He didn't give up. Exactly. Which is so beautiful. You know?
Oh God, imagine this world without Darcy. You know,
It's true. But I also, I'm also grateful for all the other women who did make a name for themselves. They did things that were seen as men's jobs, like Amelia Earhart. And, I love those stories because, she was seen as someone doing something that it's a man's job and you can't do this because it's only for men. And she went and was like, actually, no, I can.
Yes. Thank God for people like that.
Exactly, because I think they're the
You
ones
wouldn't
that
have
actually...
penicillin.
Exactly. So I think they defied, what's it the saying, defied the odds or whatever the saying is, and they went and were like, I'm going to push against this.
Yes, challenged the status quo.
Yes.
And forged ahead despite all things, and, didn't accept that box that women were put into.
But
in
I
those
think
days.
that is something that I think women must remember, and it kind of falls to our how to keep inspired file, where if you feel like you are pushed in the box and you're not doing what you love and you're not, wanting, you feel boxed in, push, challenge. Get outside of the box. Think
comfort zone.
Yes, your comfort zone, exactly.
The stereotype.
Yes.
And look at your own choice of words.
Yes.
When you are explaining something.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
And wonder to yourself where those thoughts and labels come from.
Exactly.
To actually really open up the discourse in your own families, in your own lives, in your own spaces. Celebrate what you love and challenge what you don't, and wonder where those things come from and why.
Exactly.
Ask why all the time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking why.
Yeah. And changing stuff when you don't like it.
Exactly.
Right?
You only live once. And we are women now on this earth. You only get one chance. So make it the best for yourself, for people around you, for if you've got children, for your partner. Make it good,
Oh, love that. Wonderful Women's Day message. Make it good. The ripple effects that throwing that little pebble in, that concentrically grow. It's about that.
I mean, I know it is easier said than done. It is always easier said than done, but just remind yourself, you're a woman, you're here on this planet, make it a good one.
Make it a good one. Do what you can with what you have.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was always a notion. I think there was Eleanor Roosevelt that said, do what you can with what you have.
How do you remember all these quotes, son? Sure.
Gosh,
I struggle to even remember people's names.
Well,
oh my God.
They do come up. I sometimes don't remember who said them. But, there's a million. I can show you folders all over the place.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive.
Every now and then,
I struggle to remember names of parents from school, and I'm like, my son's class rep, and I'm like, hi, and I can't even remember the parent's name. It's very embarrassing.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother file.
Exactly. Anyway.
We're going to have some bubbles.
Yes, no, we need it, and especially for Women's Day, celebrate in style with our bubbles, of course. Anyway, but do you have any more quotes in there, son? Nina Simone quote?
Well,
our fave.
Well, Nina Simone had quite a, I don't want to say torturous, but there was always quite a lot going on in her life and in and out of depressive phases. So I think on days like this, I also think of how many women face so many challenges.
Mhm.
You know, single parents, single mothers. I know there are a lot of single fathers out there as well, but yeah, it's something that is a day of reflection as well, where you kind of count your blessings for, the life. If I think back how I was brought up, and I know you were brought up this way too, Lexi, we both come from families that had two daughters, and both our sets of parents brought us up as children and
Yeah.
not particularly female.
Yeah.
We were, we were never told you couldn't do this or you
Yes.
couldn't do that
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And there are certain social norms where that's not very ladylike or whatever. And I
Yes.
always push back a lot if anybody ever told me that. I mean, when I got married, I wouldn't allow my dad to walk me down the aisle. And 30 years on now, I think to myself, I don't know if I would actually make that same decision now. When I did get married, I felt like I didn't want to be given away. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And my
do
dad
change though, son.
Well-
so that was what was right for you in that
Well,
stage of your life.
like I said, now that my dad has actually passed on, I think to myself, flip, I wouldn't have minded a picture of me walking down the aisle with him. He laughed when I told him.
Yes.
And he laughed because he was like, good for you.
Yeah.
He actually, and I think my dad would have said if he didn't feel that was the right thing. He felt like that was
your decision.
when I explained why I didn't.
Your rationale.
Yes, he thought it was quite a good one.
Yes.
I'm not handing myself over from your responsibility to somebody else's responsibility. I'm responsible for myself. In the end, that is where that tradition comes from. And I think that's the other discussion that we have. There are a lot of traditional roles and lots of things that people will keep saying to you, oh, but it's tradition, oh, but it's the norm, it's whatever. It's, we look at it ourselves and decide for ourselves what we buy into and what we don't.
And what is our normal?
Yes. What do we allow?
Exactly.
Because we know the other quote is, what you allow will continue.
Exactly.
Don't ask me who said that.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental.
Anonymous, and we'll say it was a woman. It's fine.
You'll have to look on the socials. I have to find out who said that.
Exactly.
But it is one of my go-to quotes.
Okay,
what
then.
you allow will
Yes.
continue.
And it's so beautiful.
It's how people treat you.
Yeah.
If you allow it, it's with your permission.
Exactly.
It's how, if there are funny jokes that you find disconcerting, you find offensive, if you keep quiet, they're going to continue,
exactly.
right? I don't like certain jokes about, women and stuff. Then I have to say I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because...
But I think there's many women that won't. They'll rather just keep quiet if they hear a funny joke or if they hear something that they don't like. They'd rather just keep quiet.
Well, either they're too scared to say something.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 they probably are.
Yeah. Or they think it's just a joke. And that's something to actually look at.
But even if it is a joke and it's intended to cause harm, then was it funny?
Lex, I've got a rule. If I don't laugh in the first 3 seconds,
it's not a joke.
It's not funny.
Exactly. It's
to me.
Exactly. So then you should actually go, I don't think that was funny.
Yeah.
As a woman, we need to stand up for ourselves.
Son.
Yeah, no.
No. And I think
women,
it's language.
Exactly.
what language and where does that come from, and all those.
My worst is when someone tells me that I'm too sensitive. I go, actually, that's strength.
Absolutely right.
And I think women are seen as, oh, they're so sensitive. Why? Because you've got emotions, because we feel.
Because we are allowing ourselves to.
Yes.
I mean, if you look up Susan Sontag, there's a clip that's going around on Instagram now where she was on a chat show, and some guy said to her, no woman is ever going to be able to become a president because, she menstruates. And she
Really?
was, her answer, please go and look it up. She was so.
How did she
spot on.
answer?
She said, well, do you know if I am now?
Yeah. Oh, good.
Like,
yeah.
Why? Because, because that's such a stereotype.
It is.
I
think it's an excuse people, she's in a mood. It must be that time of the month. Like, really? Actually?
That time of the month.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, challenge yourself, men who are listening.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you...
It's not only men, hey? Women are like that too.
Oh, that's also true.
No, women are like that too.
No, you're right, Lexi.
Oh, she must be in a mood because it's that time of the month. Also, women say that to each other. I don't think it's only men.
No, you're so right.
Yeah.
No. And, where does that come from?
Bitchiness.
There's a whole vocabulary around.
That's why, again, going back to if you haven't listened to it yet, go listen to our file 2, where we, us as women must uplift each other. We must celebrate being women, be there for each other, because I can tell you now, if you be there for each other, you are stronger as a woman.
Yes.
As a team, individually, team.
Isn't it
all
about
together?
Community?
It is.
Because then you actually become a support structure to somebody, as opposed to being
against
one another and feeling like you don't have anybody.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cheering for you.
Yes. I mean, I think I brought this up also in that same file. I don't know if it's like an age thing, maturity, or just a life phase that I'm going through, but it's like I would rather be surrounded by women who uplift me than women that don't.
And also be that woman.
Yes, exactly.
Because you are.
You want to, exactly.
I'm telling you.
Oh, thank you, son. So are you.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
Is that you learn to and listen. Listen. Listen to me. Vusa. You have to acknowledge and remember the people who do make you feel like that.
Yeah.
And you be like that to the people around you.
Yeah.
And life becomes
easier.
It's also more nurturing because you don't feel like you're actually navigating all the ups and downs. And there are always ups and downs.
Yes.
I don't want you sitting there listening to us thinking, what do they know? Life is so plain and simple. Well, it hasn't been plain and simple. There have been many difficulties. There still are.
Yeah.
But every single day, we get to choose.
Yeah.
We do.
Exactly.
Which I posted something on Instagram a while back about Pink. She is one of my...
Yes.
I mean, if we had to talk about role models, she is one of mine. And she talks about the Cherokee Indian who the grandmother has this thing
yes,
about...
I saw that, yeah.
The two wolves that are in us. One is about greed and exploitation and whatever, and
envy,
jealousy, all of those things. And the other one is about empathy and kindness and love and being more understanding. And the granddaughter says to her, well, which one wins? And the grandmother says, the one you feed. And at the end of the day, it is about how we are.
Yes.
we can only change ourselves. We can't
Exactly.
change
The
anybody
people
else.
around us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we also fill our love tank
Exactly.
with the stuff that we love.
We choose to put in.
Yes.
Very true.
And I think, part of our roles as women of this world is to actually challenge those around us,
Yeah.
to actually allow those emotions out
Yes.
and to say, I'm not happy today.
Yeah.
Can we actually work on
Yeah.
that feeling?
Or can we chat? Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's so difficult being vulnerable, it's important to be.
Yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge that it must never be seen as a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strength to be able to say,
and to reach out for help.
I need you to listen to me today.
Yes.
Remember that 8-minute thing?
Yeah.
That 8 minutes was about, I need your 8 minutes. I need you to listen to me because I actually am not coping.
Yeah, or I'm not okay.
I'm not okay.
No, I think it's beautiful being a woman, son.
I think so too. So happy Women's Day to all the women out there. And
we hope you enjoyed listening to us.
Yes. We enjoyed talking. And now we're having a little sip of champers.
We enjoyed drinking our bubbles.
Yes. Excellent.
Yes.
And watch that Veuve Clicquot film, Madame Clicquot. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I have not seen that, and Veuve Clicquot is my favorite.
And I have to tell you, what a story.
Okay.
Wow.
Sure.
She was amazing. She changed our world.
And she's a woman.
And she's a woman. Hello. Celebrating everybody out there today.
Yes.
Amy.
Don't forget to like,
follow, share,
subscribe.
And listen. You can. Listen, Maria,
everywhere.
Maria, listen. What was that woman's name that little boy said? Listen.
Oh, but honey. Which one?
No, there was a little boy. Listen, he was talking to his mother. I have to find it.
It's not the one we went, but honey.
No, okay, this one was listen. Don't feel shy to tell us what you like.
Yeah, or
Not
don't
really.
like.
Or not really.
I know you don't like that one when I say it. But I also want to know how I can get better, son. We need to have some kind of criticism here.
Be kind. Criticism. Where does criticism come from?
Yeah, but it's the way we get better, son.
That's it. Okay, that's a whole nother discussion.
Anyway.
Bye, everybody. Have a fantastic
Lots
day.
of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.